incremental to radical innovation. I don't think we have the luxury of time to really be incremental about a lot of these innovations that we actually want to drive. A lot of times in traditional retail, we've actually waited to take on someone else's lead. We've wanted somebody else to take some of those bets, and then we said, which is the safer bet for us to take on? That will have to change for us going forward. We'll probably have to go head on, knowing that some of these bets will actually fail, but be courageous enough to actually take some of those bets. So what does that actually translate into in terms of execution? The 4 elements that I was talking about. The first most important part is that silo busting. We're quite fond of that big macro strategic vision. We love that big thing, right? Can we move away maybe from that world and actually look at problem solving, potential opportunities that we really need to go after? Look at those opportunities. We are not afraid of starting some of them, pivoting, stopping, but we're all out to say, let's go in and let's experiment as much as possible. This one may sound extremely cliched, right? And all of us are wondering, why does it come up every time in every conversation and in every conference, right? Invest in data. And I think when we talk about invest in data, and that's what, going back, that's what Alibaba actually did. And when we look at investing in data, it's extremely critical for us to look at data in real time, in complete interconnectedness, primarily so that we are able to actually give our organization continuous intelligence. This means that every business initiative that is started off by our organizations needs to have continuous intelligence in it. This could well become that differentiator between what I normally call as data-driven organizations and a truly intelligent enterprise. We heard, again, Barry say, think big, start small. Start as many small experiments as possible, right? Never shy away from these experiments. Both Jeff and Jack Ma, if you look at what they've said, so Jeff said he measures the success of his company by the number of experiments which are run every day, every week, every month, every year. If you look what Jack Ma said about Hema and Alibaba, he said the new age retail is just a mass experimentation for him. So let's not shy away from doing many of these experiments, but let's also be kind of conscious that once when we know that these experiments are the ones that you want to go ahead with, take them quickly to production and to scale as well. Let them not remain as just an experiment. And finally, I think this is probably the key to what we were talking about, is embrace openness. Collaboration would be the key for all our organizations to move forward to the next level. And primarily, when we look at embracing this openness, as I mentioned before, we are quite conscious to say that, oh, let someone take the first step, and then I will do it. Probably it's the time for us all to be leaders. Every organization can be a leader in its own capacity by actually leading through its own differentiation. And partnerships are probably the way to grow. So we heard a lot about growth. A lot of times we've spoken about linear growth in the past. Then people spoke about 5x, 10x exponential growth. It's probably time to think about alpha growth now, which is primarily about collaboration, partnerships. We've seen many of them in the recent past. We've seen Kroger with Ocado and Nuro. We've seen Tesco. We've seen Co-op. We've seen Waitrose and We Find Food. So we're seeing many of these partnerships actually evolve. They will continue to evolve, and it's for us to embrace this openness into the new era of retail.